All right, well, good morning. It is my pleasure to talk with you all about Sage research, Sage Video and the research that we've been doing into the student experiences with video. Our research to date has included interviews with 11 students. We've had 2 students who have been doing journals for a period of 3 weeks each. And then there have been 3 surveys for a total of 1,673 students participating. The student survey is international and global in scope. And then in terms of the level of students, about half of them are undergraduates. About 40% of them report that they are graduate students, and the rest refuse to say exactly where they were in school. Just to give you some background on what we learned prior to this last bit of research is why exactly it is that students watch videos. The number one reason that they watch videos is because their faculty are showing it to them in class. And that was true for them when they were in high school, and it continues to be true for them as they've entered college or into the university. The second reason is that it's been assigned to them from a reading list for classroom prep, so they're expected to come into class having already watched that video. Next is it's assigned to them as supplemental, and so it's something that they can do or not do. It's something that they do voluntarily to help them understand course material. Some students watch video to help them get another point of view. Some students report that they are modeling their faculty's behavior, and so as their faculty are using videos to illustrate a point in the classroom, so too do the students when they themselves are doing a presentation in class. Students also saying that they watch videos to learn a practical skill, and that could include something like if they needed to conduct like a two-tailed t-test in SPSS, they want a video that walks them through step by step exactly how do you do that test. Other reasons that people like the practical skills, it's to prepare for an interview. And so if they read in a job description that they were supposed to have the following skill, then even if they didn't really have the skill, they might look for a video to help them make it sound like they could do that task. And then a very small number of students said that they never watch video, either not because they themselves are doing it voluntarily or that it's not something that their faculty are doing in class. Those students tended to be in Asia Pacific. And then a very small number of students said that they were doing it for extracurricular reasons, and the number one reason there was that there are video clubs where students are getting together and watching videos, sometimes for educational purposes and sometimes just for fun. Okay, so I want to make some of this a little bit more personal. So I'm going to walk through a few different students and give you a sense of what it is that they do with video and how often. The first is Melinda, and she is an economics major. And she could never remember a time in her life when she wasn't watching educational videos. About 90% of her classes included videos, and mostly that was videos that were being shown in class, but some of those were videos that she was assigned to watch before coming to class. When she is watching videos, you could tell that she was an economics major because she was very analytical about everything that she was telling me. And she said that she was looking very specifically to see whether or not there was any bias in any of the videos that she was watching. So if she was wanting to know anything about economics and how it was being applied in the financial market, one of the first things that she was looking for was who exactly had produced that video. Was there any bias on their part of the video, and whether or not she could consider them to be an authority that she would trust. She was overwhelmingly positive about how her faculty used video in the classroom and said that she didn't believe that for them that it was a crutch in any way, but they were taking a lot of time and effort to select just the right video for just the right moment in time for her. Okay, the next case study is Karen, and she's a psychology major, and she also is watching videos for a lot of her classes, but she would say it was more like 60% rather than the 90%. One of her big complaints when she is looking for video is she can't find enough advanced video. And so what she's looking at, she thinks is more suitable to somebody who is in high school or to a freshman, but for somebody who is an actual psychology major, she's a little disappointed in what she tends to find when she's looking. She really spoke passionately about how she likes how video can bring the whole world to her on her desktop. And so she can get a flavor of how a psychological topic is treated across the world by watching video. And unfortunately, she said that she had no idea that her library had any video, either in DVD or in streaming. I had her go to her library's website and look for it, and she was astonished to see the wealth of information that her library already had available to her, and said, wow, she wished someone would have told her a year ago. Okay, next is Cedric. Cedric is a media studies major, and he's watching video to analyze it. So he's not watching it to learn something that's being communicated, he's watching to learn how the communication is occurring. So he's then often watching the same segment over and over and over and over again. So he's pausing, he's rewinding, he's watching, he's pausing, he's rewinding, and watching it again. And said that one of his biggest frustrations is that so much video that he's watching doesn't have a transcript, and one of the reasons he's watching it and rewatching it is he's trying to hear exactly what it is that's being said. He was another person who was unaware that their library had streaming video, but he was using his library to check out documentaries on DVD. And for him, oddly enough, video was not being shown in a lot of his classes. It was something that they were asked to do before coming to class, and they were talking about what to do when they were analyzing the video, but they weren't watching it together. Okay, then there's Jeff, and Jeff is a graduate student studying instructional design. He's getting his master's degree. He already has a master's in English, and said that one of the things that's been really interesting for him is as an English student, he wasn't watching any videos, but when he was doing, serving as a tutor, helping students understand how to do writing, that he would help them find videos that would help them learn how to write. And now, as a student studying instructional design, he's trying to sort of wed his two worlds together. He is in a classroom with students who are in a distance education program. So his teacher is with him in person, but there's a satellite campus that's joining in. And so he was saying that they use video a lot, not just because they are themselves streaming to that other campus, but they're then syncing between the satellite campus and the in-person campus when they're watching a video. And so they'll say, okay, so we're about to watch the following video. The feed goes out to the satellite campus. They pause the video stream so that they don't have the echo as they watch and the other class watches the same video at the same time. And then they come back and discuss it. So they're watching video in class together in little bitty chunks, and then coming back and discussing and then watching another big chunk. And for him, he said that video is one of the best possible ways to scaffold learning, and you could hear him talking from the guise of somebody who used to be an English tutor. Okay, so in the end, one of the things I really found to be true was just how discerning students can be when they are selecting video. And I will admit, as someone who used to work in academic libraries, I was quite pleased and a little startled at just how discerning they were when they were choosing them. So one of the students who was just doing the journaling project for me wrote this: I watch educational videos to gain a more well-rounded perspective on certain discourses rather than accepting things at face value. This is something that is extremely important in an area of study like sociology, which happens to be my major. Okay, they also talked about how they themselves are integrating video into their assignments. I referred a little bit to the fact that when students are doing a presentation, they might bring a video into their presentation in class, but they're also using video when they are writing their papers. And so this assignment that was given to the student was present the topic of physical activity and the positive effects on the self and social psychology. And then she said, after she'd been watching the videos, that what she found were a few powerful testimonies that would prove more compelling when she was writing up her own persuasive argument. And so she was then going to cite those videos that she had found in the paper that she was writing. So for any of you who have wondered, do videos get to count? The answer is yes. In terms of the videos that they are watching voluntarily, one of the students said, video is a great supplement to class material. I love when it explains problems or can give me a crash course in a subject I was previously unfamiliar with. And that bit about trying to get the grounding on something that you don't know very well came up a lot throughout the course of the 2 years, where students were saying that they might not feel comfortable asking a question in class. They might not feel comfortable even with the material that was being presented in the moment. So they would then go and try to find a video that could help them get there faster and not feel like they were stupid. Okay, one of the things I was wondering was how much are students trying to wed video with everything else that they might have access to, including text? And so one of the questions that I had the students answer for me each week was, how would you compare the two? Did you find utility for both, or were you looking for one over the other? And this student wrote, in general, I really like using videos over articles to learn methods. It is easier to remember instructions given to me by a person and accompanied by proof or their research and images of other people putting those methods into action. And so for those visual learners, that's one of the things that helps them remember things. Another student wrote, I like videos as a personal way to learn topics that I need to research or for topics I don't quite understand. Video is better for tough concepts and print is easier for more direct, simple topics. Now this isn't something I would necessarily say was representative of everybody that I was talking to. A lot of students would say that they really needed both and that they would sort of toggle between the two. And so sometimes they were wanting for that really simple sort of encyclopedia article on something, and then they would watch a video to give them more of the in-practice version of what that might mean, and then they'd go back and they would read an article and then would go back and watch another video. So it could be both. Okay, I was also wanting to know, where do they go to search for video? The number one place that students go to search for, and I was asking about educational streaming video too. Number one was YouTube, 71%. Number two, they would do a Google search. Number three, they would look on their class web pages. And then the last answer was they would go to the library. So there were 32% of students would go to the library. One of the fun things about having the students do the journaling is to have them talk about exactly what search terms did they use, and did they reuse those search terms in other places, and then how satisfied were they with what they found. In general, the students were searching for anywhere between 5 to 30 minutes, and the time difference seemed more to be about the need for in-depth information. If it was just something they were doing just because they thought maybe that would be useful, they would search for about 5 minutes. The more they thought it was going to impact their ability to get an assignment done, the more time they would spend searching. Unfortunately, one thing has not changed at all since I've worked in academic libraries. The searches themselves were rather simplistic. They would use a single word or a simple phrase, and I've given an example here of conjoint analysis. And when she didn't get a good result for conjoint analysis, she switched to advertising research. So she did actually switch her terms, which was very unique. For the most part, they were not switching their terms, and they would use the same term in every source they would try. Okay, here's a search example for you. One student wrote, I used Google to look at videos of game theory. However, I found theories about video games instead. I did find one video, and she listed a university, but it wasn't helpful and was mostly an advertisement. She then did not try any other place. She was done. Another student wrote, I use the following words and phrases for searching, and this is where we get hope that yes, some of them really do dig in. She tried physical activity, physical exercise, and adults. She tried playing in adults, and then she also, we had them have access to Sage Video. And so when she was searching under Sage Videos, she also browsed under Self. So she was one of our more sophisticated searchers, but a rarity. In terms of how they're evaluating their video search results, a lot of them are just browsing the results list and scanning for keywords that seem like they might be relevant to whatever it is that they're looking for. Some of them will read abstracts, and they'll read the entire abstract if it's an upper level student or a master's student, looking to make sure before they watch the video that it has what they want. If they have access to that video easily, they'll watch a snippet of that video. And when I say snippet, I mean like 15 to 30 seconds. And if they aren't captured in the first 15 to 30 seconds, they're done and they're moving on to the next video. And then if that first 15 or 30 seconds is interesting to them, even if it doesn't relate to their topic, then they'll watch a whole lot. So one student wrote that she watched 20 minutes of a video called White Privilege because Tim Wise used eye-opening statistics and humor to relate to the audience via peripheral route of persuasion. They bemoaned the fact that transcripts were not present everywhere that they were looking for video, and because for them, the video really helped them get to what they needed fast, as well as to evaluate the research itself. So this particular student wrote, I particularly like the live manuscript tool. It allowed me to skip to the part in a long documentary that was the most relevant to my research topic. Okay, so some generalizations after all of that. Students are reporting themselves to be easily bored and distracted and say that they really want to learn. And so the more that those videos can engage them quickly, the happier they themselves are. They're looking for something that's just right, and it's hard for them to say what that means, but they know that they'll know it when they see it. A very large part of American students' educational experience has included video, and their expectations for video are rather high. A significant number of the students that we spoke to actually use the phrase flipped classroom, and they know that they're part of one. And then in terms of when they have found a video that they like, they report that they tend to watch between 2 to 8 minutes of that video, and then they're moving on to the next thing. And even while they're watching that 2 to 8 minutes, they might not be having it solely up on the screen. They're multitasking, and they've got all sorts of tasks going. They're doing all sorts of other work at the same time, which gets to the first point, that they know that they're easily distracted. When they're looking for video, what they're hoping that we're all going to provide for them are a mix of engaging speakers, people who can provide relatable examples. Where it's something that has theory, they want for that theory to be easily explained and clearly grasped. They want practical applications for theoretical concepts. That economics major that I was talking about said that she might drop out of being an econ major even though she was getting straight A's because she couldn't figure out what she would ever do with an econ degree. And so she was trying to figure out, when she was looking for videos, what is the point of everything she was spending her time on. They like infographics and colorful visuals or diagrams, anything that can bring the idea to life more. And this last one, they themselves said that they're on the fence on. They like it when people are funny, and they like humor in a video, but that not everyone can be funny, and it's painful to watch people try. Lastly, then, toward the power of video, one of the students wrote, what I have found overall is videos are generally more persuasive than articles. For this assignment on implicit prejudice in particular, the video I watched on racism showed pictures from demonstrations, civil wars, played historic news clips, played powerful music, etc. This imagery evoked more emotion than any other article I read. The flip side of this, just so you know, when we were asking faculty why they like to teach with video, one of the reasons that they said was where it's a sensitive topic, something like racism, that they like to bring in video because it can make a better connection than when they themselves are talking about it. All right, so there's a white paper that we've got out, came out last spring that's freely available that has some of these findings already in it. And the URL for that is here. There'll be another white paper coming up soon that will have more of the information on how the students are searching and what they're finding to be interesting. Thank you all for your attention, and if you have any questions, please do. Oh, do we have a mic that we can...
Not gonna make a noise or...
Okay, I just wanted to know, did the students ever tell you why they never thought to go to the library for videos?
Why they're not going? Because they don't know the library has it. Like, it has never even occurred to them. They don't know. And some of them, when I was interviewing them, and I would have every one of them go to their library's webpage, and I would show them, oh, look, there it is. They would say, I wish that someone would have told me. And when I asked them, who should have told you? They said their faculty. They don't actually expect for their librarian to be in all of their classes, but the librarian should be telling their faculty, and their faculty should be telling them.
I think it's sort of an anomaly. You said that they, in your research, students could search for a video for 5 to 30 minutes, but they'll only watch it for 2 to 8 minutes. How do you explain that, or do you?
I think that in some part it's that there's something about searching that you're not having to commit, right? And so you're able to just go, yeah, I don't like that, I don't like that, oh, that's not right either. And so the closer you get to finding the thing, the more you have to actually do the work with the thing.
Okay, so it's part of the interactivity.
Yeah, so I don't think it's anything to do with anything more than just are you at the point yet where you really are wanting to dig in? Because when they were willing to dig in, they were reporting that they would watch 30 minutes, and some of them said that they would watch 2.5 hours. So once they were really ready to dig in, they really would. But for searching, it just felt like it was much more of like it's like when you're going down the grocery store aisles. It's not that you don't want to eat, but you're not ready to eat yet, and so you're wondering. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all very much.